What is going on, guys? If you watched the last video, you know that I ended that one and then instantly started this one. I'm going to address a few things that I've seen in the comments on that video that I just put out. A lot of people have been asking, or they're not even asking, they're saying that my radiator cap isn't going to seal properly because, oh, it's full, because of how this is tapped. Now, I'm going to assure you that it will seal because this cap is gutted. Essentially, when you run an expansion tank, you eliminate this radiator cap and you'd run like an AN fitting here and a line to the expansion tank up there. Well, we didn't have a fabricator here, so what we did was we gutted the cap and put a fitting in here, which allows coolant to flow constantly through this fitting, through this hose, up to the expansion tank. And it's looking a little dirty in there. But anyways, yeah, it does seal. As you can see, look at, check this out. Boom. Sealed. I ran the car already to make sure that it does seal, and we are all good. So I hope that answers your guys' questions and your concerns. On to the new stuff. I got a diff, finally. And I've got a few things to do to it before it goes into the car. One is I've got to get these bushings, this one and this one, out of the diff. I have to finish filling it. Derek said that he put 1 quart in. I think the Z-Diff takes 2. I'll double check before I fill it. Take those out. Go over the directions that Maverick sent me to make sure I install these correctly. The other one is already back there. I just kind of threw it up in the subframe. It's not like tapped in or anything. So I'm going to go grab some food for Raven. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm starting this video late, and it's probably going to roll over to tomorrow. But I'm excited to get this thing buttoned up. Finally, I'm back from getting Raven food. So these bushings actually, I'll show you guys. These bushings actually pop out this way towards the camera. But what I've noticed, it doesn't matter because you're going to heat this up with MAP gas, and then we're going to pound out the center part, and then we're going to use a Sawzall to cut a section out, and then we're going to flip the diff over. It's going to fall out. So first things first, heat the hell out of it. All right, so this is the halfway mark. The metal insert for the bolt is out, and now we can fit a Sawzall blade in there. And we're going to cut a little bit of a little section out, and it's going to cause the bushing to collapse and fall out. But we're going to flip the diff over first. Alright guys, it's a pain in the ass every time. Bushing removal is the worst, but I don't know how these actually go in here, but I'm just going to set them in so you can see. There's 2 lips on it, one to get it started, and then if it would focus, there's another lip there, and I'm not sure if this is the way they go, so don't judge me, but that's what it'll look like essentially. Those might actually go on the bottom. Definitely go on the bottom. Those probably go on the bottom. I'm going to open up the instructions right now and look over it. It's getting pretty late. I don't know how much further I'm going to get tonight. All right, so the last thing to do before I throw this diff up into the car and get all the bushings mocked up is I have to make sure that I fill the diff up all the way. And let's see, where's the fill? Oh, here it is right here. All right, we'll pop that off and fill this thing up. Keep this thing all nice and lubed up. Super high-tech welded diff. So there's a slight chance that these stubs are going to have to be shortened. And there's also a slight chance that they might not have to be shortened. From what I'm reading and hearing from friends, It all depends on basically your suspension setup, track width. And yeah, so we're gonna find out. The good news is, if they need to be shortened, I'm gonna overnight them to Nate at Villains in Washington, and he has done this before. And he's also done a lot of other stuff for me. And my handbrake is from Villains. It's got a Quan grip on it. If you don't got one, get yourself one. And then also he, oh, there it is. Also, he has supplied me with the Villain stubs for my R200 diff, and it worked great. So you can see right there is the passenger side bushing. I have it lined up. The bolt is in the hole. The bushing is kind of a bitch to get in, to be honest. One of his instructions was, don't nick the sides of the diff when you're pounding out your old bushings, and because if you do that, it mushrooms it. And then these are machined specifically for the size and the bore of the diff, and I did that before reading the directions. So don't do what I do. Do what the directions say. So now I'm having to deal with that, but it's all right. It looks really good up there, and Derek painted it so it looks even better. I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's getting there though. I need some more light under here. I got the camera all bright so it looks nice, but when I'm under there, it's really dark, and I actually smashed my finger while trying to hammer in that bushing. So my goal was to get out here nice and early, but it was pretty hot today. It was pretty hot. So I went and rode BMX, and then I filmed a video with Raven. It's on the second channel. I'll link it in the description below. But a lot of people ask about Princess and Carlos, our pit bulls. And so we thought we'd do a video and explain, you know, their story, where I got Carlos, how it all happened, and then also Princess. So if you want to know more about my pit bulls, watch that video. But now I'm out in the shop, and it's right where I left off last night. I'm gonna hop under there. We're gonna try and get this diff bolted up today. I hopped under there real quick. Oh shit, I almost just tripped. All right, I hopped under there real quick. And one of the main concerns, which I've already addressed, was that the axles might be too long or the diff might be too wide because this isn't the chassis that it goes in. And people are saying that the axles, depending on your suspension setup, will not be able to, you won't be able to get them on the stubs, and you have to shorten the stubs. Well, in my situation, guess what? You don't got to. Lines up perfect. And I've gotten, if you look in the back there, the back ear that goes up to the subframe, that one's bolted up, and then I got the front nut on the stud, so it's held in place. The bushings aren't in completely, and it's kind of giving me some issues. It's just because I don't have a lot of room to work under there to bang them in. But my biggest fear is now fixed, and I'm not stressing anymore, and I'm very happy about that. And I don't know if this is how it's going to be for any of you if you do the same setup. I have PBM knuckles, and I also run like a little bit of positive camber, which then brings everything out and could have given me that little bit of extra space that I needed. I'm going to try and get it the rest of the way in. Raven went out to get me some dinner. I don't know what she's bringing back, so fingers crossed it's something good. All right, guys, so check this out. You can see the axle stub. That meets up really nice. I didn't even have to force it, which was, I thought that like maybe I would have to like force it on, and I didn't have to do that. You can see that this bushing in the front is not in all the way, and I have like no room to swing at that to like get it in with a hammer. So I might resort to pulling my fuel cell out, which is not hard, but it's time consuming. So it's almost there. Last things I have to do after getting that bushing in is drill, you can see I'm zooming in, the bolt pattern on that shaft, for the drive shaft to the flange on the back of the diff are a different bolt pattern, so I'm gonna have to drill that out tomorrow. I still have got lots of work to do. Mostly body work, thank God. I mean, mechanically, I think we're good. The diff is up, which makes me very happy. And it went together a lot easier than I thought it was going to. So shout out to Maverick for making a good swap kit to make this user-friendly. The body work is important because there's a lot of you guys out there that see this car, and I want to make sure that it looks good, and you guys are, you know, when you see it in person or whatever, it's everything you thought it would be and more. And I felt like we achieved that last year, and this year I'm really trying to go above and beyond. A little bit of fab work just for the rear 2F Performance clip and the bash bar, not a lot. We should be able to knock that out pretty fast, and then repaint the rear of the car. One thing I want to touch on before I end today's video is everybody is live streaming now. John Hicks is doing it, Adam22 is doing it, and those are like, we're in a big group chat. People always ask me if I still talk to Adam and stuff. Myself, Stevie, Began, Alfredo, Adam, we're all in a group chat. We talk about this stuff at Hicks. And yeah, the streaming thing seems to be pretty cool. And actually, Haggard just did it inside. And it seems like a cool way to basically do like a Q&A. I used to do Q&As on my channel where you guys would ask some questions, and then I'd go and make a video answering them. And it would honestly be a cooler experience, I feel like, if you could ask me them live and I would answer them, you know, right away. And I guess that there's some new thing called a super chat, where if you guys wanted, people ask for shout outs all the time. People DM me, ask for YouTube shout outs, Instagram shout outs. And with all the comments rolling down the screen, you can donate whatever amount you want, and in return, I can give you a shout out for your YouTube channel, your Instagram, if you had a really, you know, important question that you wanted to answer, that you thought, that you wanted me to answer, that you thought might, you know, get lost in the abyss of comments, you can do a super chat. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing. Let me know in the comments here if you guys want me to do live streams, and you can ask me all the questions you want. Maybe I'll do one out here so you can ask questions on the car. It's up to you. Let me know. If it doesn't seem like very many of you are into it, I'll probably not do it. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Little bit of work, not enough. I'll be back out here tomorrow, hopefully with a little bit more motivation and a little bit more energy to knock this out. See you guys then. Peace.